And over to you, Chau.
Yeah, thank you, Larissa. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today for another session in our Moving to Cloud ERP webcast series. And in this session, we will be focusing on the Adoption Insight service, a key offering designed to provide visibility into how your SAP software solutions are being utilized, highlight any improvement gaps, and help you maximize the value of your existing cloud ERP private investment. Our goal today is to walk you through how this service works, the value it brings, and share some real customer feedback to give you a complete view of the service impact. Before we dive into the presentation, we would like to start with 3 quick poll questions to gain a better sense of today's audience. Larissa, can you help us?
Yes, 1 second. Let me start the poll. You can see 3 questions on the screen. Please answer them so we can get a little bit of a feeling on, yeah, this helps to shape the presentation in the right way. And we can see already first answers coming in. We give maybe 1 minute for the poll, and of course our speakers can comment on the results that are already coming in.
Now we can see for the first question, you see some usage, but it's not complete, which is actually expected from our side. And this service and also presentation will provide more clarity in terms of this topic. Second question, the gap is smaller, but most of you also know the basics, but don't track it closely if it's the topic of lacking the medium to track it closely and continuously, then we will also cover in our today's session. Okay, the third question is somewhat confident. We rely on rough estimates. That's interesting to see. And we actually know quite some customers having frameworks and processes within their organization to track and to plan renewals. But our service will provide fact-based data that will enrich this process from your side and will potentially and hopefully improve the result as well. Yeah, I think, okay, the answers are still coming in. But
we can decide to end the poll as we have already of a tendency on most of the questions, but let us maybe give 10 more seconds and then end the poll and you can take over the presentation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the tendency will not potentially change that much anymore. So we will close the poll here. Thank you so much for giving in your answers.
All right.
Yeah, let's get back to the presentation. So here will be what we will cover in the next 30 minutes. So first, we will introduce briefly about our team, Adoption Insights and Services, and us as the speakers for today's session. Next, we will take a look at common challenges faced by Cloud ERP private or formerly RISE customers and how they can be addressed with our service offering. We will then walk you briefly through the service approach and the components. After that, we will provide an overview of the key benefits customers can realize by using this service. We will share customer success stories and feedback to illustrate the value in practice. Finally, we will share with you the next steps after this presentation, and we will leave also some time for Q&A at the end. So let us briefly introduce ourselves and the team we represent today. So my name is Chau, and I'm here today with my colleague Yinzhu, and we are both from Adoption Insights and Services team as part of the SAP Global Adoption and Experience Center of Excellence. Our team provides a suite of data, tools, and services designed to ensure compliance for the customers and help them optimize their software usage. We deliver actionable insights with comprehensive usage transparency, and with that, we can create exceptional value through data-driven and tailored recommendations for our customers. So in general, our mission is to make sure SAP's products, services, and solutions are fully adopted by customers and users, driving your success and maximizing value on your journey with us. So last week, our colleagues Trami and Ilona delivered a session on License Pathfinder, the service that helps customers navigate their migration path to the cloud. If you haven't had a chance to catch up with that session, we include here a link in this presentation where you can rewatch it. Today, as a continuation, we will focus on the Adoption Insight service, which is designed to bring transparency once you are in the cloud, helping you better understand and optimize your software usage. And in the next 2 weeks, our colleagues Christian and Jiga will introduce them for you, a dashboard solution that enables efficient monitoring of software consumption. And together, these services build a complete picture from planning your move to the cloud to gaining transparency there to continuously monitoring and optimizing your software usage. Now that we've met the AS team and seen how our services fit together, let's talk about why Adoption Insight service matters. Many cloud ERP customers face recurring challenges in the private cloud environment. Since automated metering is not there yet available for all customers, there is often a lack of transparency into software consumption levels, as you mentioned also in the poll result. This can make it difficult to budget and plan licensing or subscription costs, to allocate expenses accurately across the organization, or to manage internal chargeback process. And for customers nearing renewals, unclear usage patterns combined with changes in price list or product licensing information can make proactive planning and informed renewal decision-making even more challenging. And this is exactly where Adoption Insights service comes in. It gives existing customers the transparency that is missing today and helps newly onboarded customers into Cloud ERP Private feel more guided and confident from day one in the topic of software consumption. And now my colleague Yinzhu will explain the service in further details, its delivery approach and components. Handing it over to you, Yinzhu.
Yeah, thank you. So what's included in the Adoption Insight service? How is it delivered? And most importantly, what do you get out of it? The Adoption Insight service is free of charge, and it's designed to measure and analyze your current SAP license usage. It's focusing on your actual consumption. The component includes first one, FUE analysis and optimization, engine measurement, digital access analysis, as well as HANA runtime evaluation. We deliver it in an interactive way, and we customize the process for your specific business needs. You can choose between remote or on-site delivery, and the service is again free of charge. Let's first understand what is FUE and how it's calculated. FUE is a licensing metric used in SAP S/4HANA Cloud and ERP Cloud, where SAP assigns a specific weight to each user type. For example, if advanced users, the ratio is 1 to 1. This means each advanced user contributes 1 FUE. So in case there are 30 advanced users, it is a 30 FUE. On the other hand, for core users, if the ratio is 5 to 1, it takes 5 core users to make 1 FUE. So in this case, 75 core users, it is 15 FUE. So how do we analyze and optimize FUE? We use 2 SAP nodes, one to validate users in the digital core production system, and another to identify developer users in the development system. Our experts review the results from these nodes and identify optimization opportunities based on your actual authorization assignments. You receive a clear comparison between your current FUE usage and an optimized scenario FUEs. This includes a detailed evaluation report with actionable recommendations to help you reduce FUE consumption effectively. It comes to the engine measurement. Again, we use SAP nodes to collect engine usage data in your engine relevant production systems. And once the data is collected, we need to revalidate the results against the latest SAP pricing and product information. We then compare your actual usage with your current software subscription entitlements. And there are products at current stage cannot be automatically measured. So in this case, we provide self-declaration form and guide you how to fill the form. And the outcome is a detailed report which shows your software subscriptions, key usage metrics, and how they align with your entitlements. Digital access evaluation. In addition to evaluating FUE and engine usage, we also assess your indirect digital access. Indirect access here means using SAP via third-party applications, for example, bots or IoT devices. 9 key document types are involved here, and each is calculated at line item level, and multiplier is then applied to determine the final number. For example, financial and material documents are multiplied by 0.2. All the other document types are 1 to 1. It's important to note that only the initial creation of the document counts. Subsequent actions, for example, reading, updating, deleting, are not included. There are 2 ways to evaluate digital access documents. The first is the estimation note, which lists all relevant business documents created by technical users. The second is SAP Passport. This is a built-in functionality available from specific support package level and S/4HANA systems. Both methods provide a comprehensive report showing you the estimated number of digital documents. HANA measurement. There are 2 scenarios when it comes to measuring HANA usage. The first scenario is a HANA full use scenario. Measurement is performed using the built-in functionality, and this is available in SAP HANA Studio or SAP HANA Cockpit. Customers can easily export the measurement report directly from these tools. This report shows the peak memory consumption data in gigabytes for the measured system or tenants over the past 12 months. If it is a HANA runtime scenario, customer can run SQL script provided in the relevant SAP notes. The script identifies any violations of runtime rights, and output is a reporting listing any such violations. But it is important to note that this process is not an official audit. False positives may occur, meaning some flagged findings might not actually license violations. So follow-up manual review is recommended. Okay, it was a HANA measurement, and I will now hand over to my colleague Chau for the next section.
Yeah, thank you, Yinzhu. So at this stage, some of you may be wondering about the similarity between License Pathfinder and Adoption Insight Service as we went through the components and the technical details and so on. And it's true, the two services rely on the same tool set for measuring the baseline and can even follow a similar delivery approach depending on the customer's needs. The difference, however, lies in the when and the why. So License Pathfinder is designed to support your transition to Cloud ERP Private. It provides a fact-based bill of material projection to right-size your cloud move based on existing on-premise consumption and helps address license-related topics before you sign your private cloud contract. Adoption Insight Service, on the other hand, is focused on maximizing the value of your Cloud ERP journey once you're already there. So it gives you transparency into your consumption and any shelfware, any compliance risk, and keeps you on top of consumption patterns in light of changing pricing and licensing terms. We also provide deep dive knowledge transfer and enablement, empowering you to perform measurements independently on your own so that you can proactively manage your subscription consumption going forward. And what does this all mean for you after all? It means compliance, confidence, so clear visibility keeps you aligned with your contractual terms. Optimize spend, you know where consumption comes from, and therefore can avoid waste and right-size your commitments going forward. Inform allocation. Transparency enables fair internal billing and chargeback. Renewal readiness. You know where you are at in terms of consumption level, and therefore can forecast and plan for contract renewal discussions with more confidence. Operational agility. By monitoring consumption closely and regularly, you can also react quickly to changes in usage pattern and any potential business growth opportunities. And finally, peace of mind. Knowing every bit of your cloud ERP investment is maximized. And these benefits are not just theory, they translate into measurable impact for our customers. Specifically, a customer in the telecommunications industry identified 180,000 euros in terms of eDO subscriptions with our support via Adoption Insight Service. That allowed them to free up the eDO budget and redistribute it to other SAP investment. That also helped them stay abreast of their actual usage, optimize their use of current commitments, and right-size renewal. A customer in energy service sector identified 60,000 euros in excess usage and was provided by us with optimization measures to regain compliance. And they also can better forecast for their upcoming renewal. And a customer in retail gained transparency into landscape-specific consumption, enabling fair and accurate internal cost allocation with their organization. As you can see, the benefits we just walked through directly translate to flexibility, to optimization, compliance assurance, and better decision-making in practice. But all of these may not as convincing as hearing directly from our customers themselves. Here are just a few voices from our customers who have experienced the service with us. So the energy and services customer highlighted how structured the enablement session was for them, and they appreciated the collaboration, giving them the detailed view into the FUE consumption. The retail customer emphasized the value of gaining insights across different service topics, strengthening their understanding of licensing in general, and enabling them to perform more accurate internal billing activities. And another retail customer told us how our guidance helped them monitor and optimize FU consumption. With that, they can start further optimization initiatives. So let's take a moment for you to read through these feedbacks from our customers. So to sum it up, with Adoption Insight Service, you gain complete transparency, control, and flexibility over your software subscription use, helping you maximize the value today and stay prepared for tomorrow. If this resonates with you, please reach out to your SAP account executive or RISE enterprise architect. They will connect you with us and help you get started. Yeah, and with that, we're at the end of our presentation. Now we will come to the Q&A session.
All right, thank you very much for this presentation. It was short, concise, very good. And I think Yinzhu is already answering questions in the Q&A tool. And maybe before we, to all the participants, of course, now is the moment for you to ask the questions, to be proactive, to bring them up via Q&A tool, chat, or if you prefer to speak up, we can also make you speak up, but we give just a couple of minutes for more participants to think of the question. But we can also ask Yinzhu probably to give us a summary of the question that were answered so far. What kind of questions have arrived?
The first question was HANA runtime, and the question was about what is HANA full time. So I provided answer based on the official documentation. So HANA full use means in this case, the database can be used for anything. For example, SAP programs, your own custom apps, or third-party tools. Relatively HANA runtime only let the database work for SAP software like S4HANA, and it does not allow not everything you can use. And the second question is, how do we identify authorizations not needed? I think this is about FUE authorizations. Actually, we don't determine which authorizations is not needed for your business. What we do is we look at which authorizations is which roles are assigned with over authorizations are assigned to a specific role. So there is a role and there are authorizations, and the authorizations has different levels, and sometimes the highest level is assigned to the unnecessarily assigned to a specific role, identifies all these opportunities, potential optimization opportunities, and you can decide. And you need to discuss internally if these authorizations can be removed from this user, or if these authorizations can be removed from the specific role. So to answer your question, we don't identify not needed authorizations. We just provide the information, and you need to decide internally. The third question was HANA for use was relevant in HANA full use is not relevant in the cloud. Yes, when it is a managed services, the HANA use is already included. For example, in the S4HANA RISE, the database HANA use is already included.
Yeah, I want to add also to that question from Wendy. Sorry if I mentioned that incorrectly, how I should pronounce it. So if you HANA full use is relevant when you have HANA Enterprise Edition in your contract or license entitlement or subscription entitlement, then we will measure the full use as Yinzhu explained earlier in HANA Cockpit or HANA Studio, and then you will have the information regarding how many memory gigabytes in general you consume, and we will compare that with your entitlement.
All right, and now I can see a couple of questions in Q&A tool, and I suggest we start from the top. And the first question is, imagine a customer that has been on RISE private cloud for 2 years. So renewal is only in 3 years. Can that customer still order the adoption insight service?
Yeah, I can answer this question. So yes, for sure. The Adoption Insight service is not designed just to support you with the renewal. That is part of the package, but it's there also to support you to gain transparency, like as much transparency as possible that you can with your software subscription in private cloud. So you can already order it when you already have some first systems in RISE or in private cloud. Then we will come in and help you measure and check how much you are actually consuming in comparison with your contractual terms. Yeah.
All right, I hope this helps. The next question is from Mike. You mentioned we could use these tools on our own to monitor, measure. Is that correct? Also, is that all the tools from all the nodes?
Yeah, for measuring the consumption, those are the tools that are going to be used, and they're coming from the nodes that we mentioned. When you evaluate the consumption, because the consumption will give you the raw data as the result, and you have to evaluate and also analyze it a little bit so that you have the right interpretation out of that. And with that, we have also further sources of information, and we will also enable you how to do that, where we get certain information from, how we evaluate certain things, in what light of information. That will be part of the service that we support you to do it on your own as well, as much as possible. Yeah.
All right, we have a couple of questions from Mike. I think they're all connected. The next one, did I understand correctly? I think this was related to the question that we just had. And the next question from Mike is, what if have an on-prem system that wasn't a RISE contract? Is this relevant in this case?
Was in a RISE contract. So this service is specifically designed for private cloud customers. So our target is for RISE customer and private cloud customers in general. If you have an on-prem system that you will potentially move to RISE or to a private cloud environment, we have License Pathfinder last week mentioned, like as a support for you in that regard. And if you already signed the contract, but your systems are still on-prem, you're not migrating yet to the cloud, we can also potentially look at that. And if you have like a lift and shift kind of migration scenario, of course, we can potentially look at on-prem consumption and give you some insights about whether you will be able to provision correctly when you successfully move to RISE environment. I hope this is clear and not confusing. If yes, then please leave another question and I will try to explain more.
All right, let me also share the link to License Pathfinder. So the next question is, so HANA Enterprise Edition has now been replaced by full use?
If I understand this correctly, full use is just our casual way to talk about HANA Enterprise Edition. So apologies in case this is causing confusion for you, but like when we measure full use, database full use rights, we actually refer to HANA Enterprise Edition, private cloud. Yeah.
All right, I hope this is clear. The next question is, how does an SAP initiative utilizing AIS support, and is there a number of calls within an annual cycle that can be called upon free of charge?
To initiate utilizing AIS support, we encourage you, as the last slide mentions, to get in touch with your SAP account executive and general account team, and also RISE enterprise architect. They should be already knowing about our services and our support, and they will connect you with us directly. And regarding the next part of the question is like how many is there a number of calls within an annual cycle that can be called upon free of charge? We don't have a certain quota or limit in this regards, but our purpose with the service is not just perform the measurement for you. We want to enable you to perform that on your own as well. And it's also an effort on your side if you want to do it every 3 months, for example. And if you are willing to do that, and if you need any expert support in terms of interpretation of the raw data results and so on, then of course we can support those scenarios. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. The next question is, am I right that adoption inside service only is currently measuring S/4HANA private cloud usage, particularly not any of the other solutions, though they are also cloud-driven like integrated business planning, Ariba, success factors, etc.?
Yes, our service is only for private cloud, so cloud ERP private environment and package, and we don't tackle the topic of license consumption with public cloud products, because you have potential channels to get transparency in terms of consumption for those products already, potentially via SAP for me. But we offer this service particularly to the private cloud customers because there you actually have challenges, or many of you have the challenges to get a full transparency into what you are currently using and how much. Yep.
All right, I think there was one more question, but I think it was already answered.
Oh, there is another.
And we have two more questions in the chat. The first question, are there license costs for your non-production systems? Should one stop any batch joins running? Also, should one reduce any unnecessary processing on non-production systems? The question is in the chat.
For your non-production, batch join. We don't measure non-production systems except for developer users. So with developer users, which is usually part of your FE consumption, we will have to measure in the development environment. It means all your ABAP development systems where you have certain activities ongoing there to make add-ons to the current existing SAP software. Yeah.
I hope because the question is not 100% clear. If the answer is not sufficient, please feel free to provide explanation or raise up your hand. I can try to make you speak up if this is your wish. And the next question in the chat, is there a possibility to establish RFC connection between SAP Focused Run and SAM for You tool?
We will not talk a lot about this one because we're not an expert in SAM for You. To be honest, you will have the next sessions with our colleagues who are the exact experts for SAM for You and will guide you a lot more detail in terms of this. But as we understand, there is a chance for you to connect RFC connection from your systems in general to SAM for You so that you can potentially load your data there automatically. But yeah, please look forward to the next week's session. There your answer will be potentially answered more accurately and in full details.
Right. So this session is already scheduled. Let me try to find the link for the session next week, and I can put it into the chat. So, okay, there is 1 second. Let me try to. We are trying to. So, Liang?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
With regards to the licensing costs for the non-productive systems, so if a developer is testing some jobs and things like that, does the licensing costs cover get charged based on the jobs that developer is using? So if there are any scheduled background jobs running, will that incur unnecessary costs? In other words, should we stop any unnecessary processing on those other systems?
If I understand your question correctly, I would answer that the developer users are only considered when they perform certain activities within the development systems. So when they make changes to certain development objects, for example, making transport requests and so on, with relevance to only certain development objects within the systems. So it depends what kind of activities you're doing there with the shadow jobs. As I understand, it may or may not incur license costs or for that. So we have the SAP node that Yinzhu showed earlier on the screen that will answer the best to this question. When you run the node, you will be able to see which users are listed, what kind of activities they have done, which development objects they have changed or access to in the past 1 year. And with that, you will be able to verify and to evaluate if they should be relevant or not. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I understand that. I'll look out for the note. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for being so brave and speak up. Thank you. So, do we have more questions today? You still have an option to ask the question via Q&A tool, via chat, or raise your hand and we make you speak. Again, as I've already mentioned, the materials of today's session, they will be uploaded on our dedicated playlist on SAP community YouTube channel, and you can get a recording and the PDF that will be attached in the description for your own demand and convenience. All right, I can't see more questions in the chat or in Q&A tool. Again, you have the possibility to contact me if you have any questions afterwards. I will make sure that I forward your questions to the speakers. This applause and reaction that we currently see on the screen goes, of course, to our speakers. This is for you, Chau and Yinzhu. Great. Thank you very much for being with us, for sharing your insights. And we can only encourage our participants to join next week. I have just posted the link to the session next week in the chat. Next week, we will be focusing on SAM4U tool. And as Chau already mentioned, the experts will be giving some deep dives into this topic and this tool. With this, thank you very much for participating. I will close the session now.
Thank you.